What is sleep? Sleep is when our brain sends neurotransmitters to switch off parts of our brain that keep us awake. While we are sleeping, many different parts of the body gets to rest after a day of constant work. Just like many other systems in our body that go through a cycle, we go through one when we sleep. Each night, a cycle lasts 90 to 110 minutes on average. Stage 1. In stage 1 of the sleep cycle, we are in a very light sleep. We are easily awakened and remember fragmented images of vision. Our eyes move very slowly and our muscle activity slows. During stage 1, people very often experience hypnomyoclonia, in which we twitch because of a sensation of falling. This causes people to wake up very briefly, but they seldom remember it the next morning. In stage 2 of our sleep cycle, we are in a slightly deeper sleep. Our eye movement stops and our brain activity slows. Occasionally, fast waves called sleep spindles occur. Stages 3 and 4 of the sleep cycle are very similar. In both stages, there are no eye or muscle movements. We normally experience nightmares, sleepwalking, and bedwetting during these two stages. It is also very difficult to awaken someone who is in the stage 3 or 4. They normally take a lot of time to adjust to their surroundings once they're awakened. In stage 3, our brain waves are called delta waves, which are very slow. Occasionally, we would experience the faster, smaller wave. In stage 4, we almost exclusively experience delta waves. REM, or rapid eye movement stage. The REM stage normally occurs about 70 to 90 minutes after one falls asleep. In this stage, we have rapid, shallow breathing and our eyes jerk. Our heart rate increases and so does our blood pressure. Since most of our dreams also occur during this stage, our muscles are temporarily paralyzed to prevent us from moving around in our dreams. This is the most important stage of sleep for our body, because it is when our body and mind repairs itself and prepares for the next day. How do dreams occur? Dreaming is one of the biggest mysteries of the human body. It is very hard to understand how they happen and even more difficult to grasp why it happens. Dreams start from the pons, which are located at the base of the brain and relay nerve impulses between the spinal cord and the brain. The pons send a signal to the thalamus, which sends it to the cerebral cortex, which organizes thought processes. That signal is our dream. The pons also send signals to turn off motor neurons in the spinal cord so that we are temporarily paralyzed so we don't move in a dream. It is thought that dreams occur because the cortex is trying to find meaning for all of the signals that it receives during the day. Every day, millions of inputs are made into the cortex for it to sort out. The ones that are more important tend to stick, so our brain dreams about it at night. Another theory is that dreams reflect our emotions from the day. Have you ever had a day where you focused all day on something very important, like a big project or a big event? You probably dreamed about that whether you remember it or not. This theory explains that since the brain spent so much time thinking about it, it realizes that it is an important thought, so it sorts through it while we are asleep at night. What happens when we sleep? Imagine the state of our body as a weight being hung from a string. During the day, when we use our brain and body, the weight is pushed every once in a while so that it's constantly swinging. When we sleep, the weight isn't pushed anymore. However, it takes some time for the weight to stop swinging and be completely still. Just like how the weight takes time to be still, it takes time for our body to repair itself and rest. There's nothing we can do to make the weight completely still right away, just like how we cannot force our body to repair itself if we don't give it enough sleep. When we sleep, our brain is constantly working to replenish our body, especially in the REM stage. In the brain, blood flow rises in the areas that process memories and emotions. This is one of the reasons why having quality sleep can improve our memories and emotional state. During sleep, our body produces different types of hormones that help our body grow and develop. We produce human growth hormones, which are protein hormones that use amino acids to promote growth, maintenance, and repair of the skeletal-muscular system. Since every single tissue in the human body is renewed faster while we are asleep than while we are awake, it is essential that we sleep so that we can recover properly from our day. Another important thing sleep does for us is improve our immune system. Research suggests that the immune system produces more proteins and disease-fighting agents during sleep. Studies also show that sleep deprivation reduces the amount of white blood cells in our blood, which leads to a weaker immune system. While we are asleep, tumor necrosis factor, a cancer killer, is pumped through our blood. An experiment showed that people who stayed up until 3 a.m. only had 2/3 of those cells containing TNF the next day. In addition, the remaining cells' effectiveness was significantly reduced. Effective diet on sleep. Why do we feel drowsy after eating certain foods? How can we prevent being tired after a meal, and what food can make us get a good night's sleep? Food and medicine can change the balance of certain neurotransmitter signals that affect our sleepiness. Caffeine is one of the substances that are most effective. Adenosine in the body causes drowsiness. It binds to adenosine receptors, slowing the cell activity, causing drowsiness. To adenosine receptors, caffeine looks like adenosine. When caffeine particles bind to adenosine receptors, they don't slow the cell activity. The adenosine receptors can no longer identify adenosine anymore since it's already bound to caffeine. Some substances found in foods that help us sleep are calcium, vitamin B, carbohydrates, magnesium, and tryptophan. Some foods with a rich source of these nutrients include walnuts, almonds, dairy products, tuna, rice, cereal, honey, and hummus. Alcohol and smoke have a very negative effect on our quality of sleep. Both limit REM and deep sleep, which are essential to repair our body. Smokers wake up every 3 or 4 hours due to nicotine withdrawal, which disrupts their sleeping cycle. When we don't get as much sleep as our body requires at our age, we are sleep deprived. On average, adults should sleep for 7 to 8 hours and teenagers for 9 hours. If we sleep enough, we shouldn't feel drowsy at all during the day. Sleep deprivation affects us significantly. Our judgment, reaction time, memory, and calculation abilities are impaired. Since the cells in our brain haven't had enough sleep to repair themselves, they are overly worked the next day. Fatigue and from sleep deprivation can be very dangerous. Our hand-eye coordination and physical abilities are very limited. Drivers who are very sleep deprived can be even more dangerous than people who are intoxicated. Our whole body system deteriorates, and our risk for disease can become higher if we don't sleep enough over a period of time. Sleep-deprived people tend to have bad mood swings and even might start hallucinating. Nowadays, having a regular sleep schedule is so common that it isn't viewed as a problem anymore. Although the effects of sleep deprivation aren't dramatic in a short period of time, it can affect our health and safety in the long run. The results of getting more sleep is very beneficial. You will see them in the speed and quality of the work you do. Humans can reach their full potential if their brains aren't compromised by sleep deprivation. We need to be able to use our brains to their full capacity to solve our conflicts today.